Hello, and welcome to the Narrowing Path, Walking the Spiritual Walk. My name is Steve Ben Einstein. Thank y'all for joining me today for July 13th reading, one day off of Friday the 13th, Thursday, July 13th, of James Allen's Daily Meditations. I'm really looking forward to today's. Just every day of July has been incredible. It's absolutely been incredible. So I'm excited to see what it brings us today. This will be fresh to you and fresh to me, of course, meaning this will be the first time I hear or read the podcast right here with you. So you'll get my genuine response, reactions, observations, and what I relate to about the reading. So here we go. This is July 13th reading for James Allen's Daily Meditation. It is a delusion that noise means power. That's good. Where calmness is, there is the greatest power. Calmness is the sure indication of a strong, well-trained, patiently disciplined mind. The calm man knows his business. Be sure of it. His words are few, but they tell. His schemes are well planned, and they work true like a well-balanced machine. He sees a long way ahead and makes straight for his object. The enemy, difficulty, he converts into a friend and makes profitable use of him, for he has studied well how to agree with his adversary while he is in the way with him. Like a wise general, he has anticipated all emergencies. Indeed, he is the man who is prepared beforehand. He is never taken by surprise. He is never in a hurry, is safe in the keeping of his own steadfastness, and is sure of his ground. Working steam is not heard. It is the escaping steam which makes great noise. That is incredible. That is an incredible reading today. Absolutely love this. It's talking about the people that, which I've been someone that does this, who like to appear busy, to seem important, to seem like we got something going on, to seem like our life is full. And it's a smoke screen. It's a shadow. The longer I've been in this spiritual life, and the longer I've walked this spiritual walk, I've found when I'm calm about something, and I can do things with purpose and intention, I have much more confidence. Instead of making everybody else know that I've got to go and do this thing, you know, what I do is I just go do the thing. I don't. It's really weird. I talk to a lot of people about what's going on in my life just because it's important for me to do so, to get external perspective a lot of times still. And what happens sometimes is when I have things in my life that I want people to know about, I'll mention them. But as things become just regular and known and part of my routine and part of just what I do without really thinking, I don't mention them. It's not like, oh, I used to say I have these horrendously busy days because I've got the gym, and then I've got a 12-step meeting, and then I have work for 13 hours and this and that and the other thing. And I would list these things, just run right after the other, just to say I'm doing good, but look at everything I'm doing. And I've realized that's me trying to manage stuff. That's me trying to let people know that I'm living all right. When I can tell, when there isn't even things that come to mind that are too out of the ordinary to talk to bring up in conversation, that's when I'm the strongest. Not when I'm listing all these things like they're burdens in my life. They're just things that I do out of love and doing the next right thing. It's a much more powerful place to be. So let's go ahead. I mean, that we just talked about the opening line to this pretty much in the last couple of minutes here. It is a delusion that noise means power. Like all this hustle and bustle and rushing around and this and that doesn't mean much. It means, what it means to me now is you're you're wasting energy. You're wasting effort. Purposeful direction, appropriate effort. It's a art form that I've had to learn myself. So let's go on to the main body of this. Where calmness is, there is the greatest power. There's assurance there, it's a steadfastness. Calmness. There's no fear. There's only action. There's only doing the right things. Calmness is just such a strong place to be. So calmness is where the greatest power is. Calmness is the sure indication of a strong, well trained, patiently disciplined mind. When I can get there, when I can actually get there, it's because of practice, it's because of discipline, it's because of intention, it's because of purposeful action. Repeatedly, by practicing the next right thing, by practicing the principles that need to be practiced in those situations. It, I have no fear or concern. It's just doing. I never knew that was a place I could actually be coming from. He says next, the calm man knows his business. Be sure of it. The ones that speak the most usually know the least, in my experience, because I was one of those for a very long time. I was the person that really I tried to distract and impress and overwhelm to hide the fact that I didn't really know what was going on, or I wasn't confident in what I did know. His words are few, but they tell, is what he says. His words are few, but they tell, because you know exactly what needs to be said in those situations. It's not conjecture, it's not um, contemplation or putting things together. It's a known thing, it's a solid thing. His schemes are well planned and they work true, like a well balanced machine. I love it when it actually works like that. When the appropriate planning has been done, when you can actually go and be a part of it and things work because you've been there and you know what to expect and you've practiced. Again, you have the discipline to continue forward doing these things and improve and become familiar and have a knowing, well balanced machine. He sees a long way ahead because he's been there and makes straight for that object. These are things we learn to do as we walk in the spiritual life. These are things that we learn to aim at. I've talked a lot about having that ideal that we strive for, right? Having that righteous ideal that we aspire to emulate, aspire to imitate, inspire to be, really, at the end of the day. We make straight for it. We don't execute perfectly in the beginning, but we get better and we get better and we get better as everything progresses. The enemy, difficulty, he converts into a friend and makes profitable use of him, for he has studied well how to agree with his adversary while he is in the way with him. Meaning, it befriends the difficulty and learns from it. It takes it apart so it understands it, so it knows how to handle it going forward or avoid it going forward, to address it so it's not a difficulty again, right? That's the blessing of living this way of life. The difficulties are just solutions in hiding. It's a pretty amazing thing to be able to just roll with the snares and the unforeseen things that come up along the way. And not only roll with them and not be shaken by them, but to actually learn and embrace them. It is a talent, it is a skill, something that I've had to learn how to do, which I'm not great at, but I do better. Like a wise general, he has anticipated all emergencies. Indeed, he is the man who is prepared beforehand. And this comes from what do they call it? Um, comes that's what it is. I was thinking of what they call oddly it is firewood that they leave there. It's called seasoning. You know, it's from doing this and living this way of life, from being a part of it. You foresee what could happen. You can understand the complications that could arise, and you've already got a plan. You've anticipated it in case it's needed, right? But it's appropriate amount of anticipation. It's what actually could happen. It's being prepared to take these actions and being prepared for the entirety of the situation. He is never taken by surprise. He is never in a hurry. Is safe in the keeping of his own steadfastness and is sure of his ground. It's amazing when you live by these principles and have these disciplines for long enough. It's almost as if situations don't necessarily matter as in the granular way that most think they do. You're able to just say which principle gets applied here, regardless of particulars, regardless of specific circumstance. You're able to actually just practice the program, practice the way you live in that, and then therefore answers are there. Therefore, a decision is made. Therefore, you continue to walk forward. So you're never taken by surprise because you always know what to do. Because what you do isn't dependent on the situation. What you do is dependent on your moral character and spiritual practice. That is what we strive for. That is where our steadfastness is and where we become sure of our ground. And the line he closes this with is just absolutely great. Working steam is not heard. So the things that are actually doing the work, the things that are actually the steam that is actually powering the steamboat or the engine of the tractor or whatever it was at the time, it's not heard. It is the escaping steam that makes great noise through the whistle or the leaks. That is where the noise comes from. So that noise is wasted potential, wasted energy, wasted purpose. It's a strong lesson today about what wasting time, about wasting purpose can look like. It can just look like busyness, stress. And that's something for myself to remember for sure. So, all right. Well, there we go. That is July 13th reading from James Allen's Daily Meditations. A great one on just remembering how you practice this program in every area of your life every day, you know? And just to remember that noise and that hurriedness, rushing, constant rushing, it's a waste. Be direct, be intentional, be appropriate with your energy and your time and your effort. So, thank y'all for joining me again for another fantastic reading from James Allen. And we're almost coming up on the half of the month mark already, which just blows my mind. July's flying by. So I'm looking forward to it though. So until next time, thanks.